It was the height of the Obama era when an 18-year-old Charlie Kirk founded an organization designed to push back against what he felt was the overwhelming liberal bent of college campuses. The instinct of the untested political activist would change the nation, spurring a young movement that would shatter conventional conservatism and fuel the rise of Donald Trump. Kirk was a founder of Turning Point USA, a group that's been key in mobilizing young Republicans. Even Democrats have recognized his prowess, with California Governor Gavin Newsom hosting him on his podcast earlier this year. Today, I'm joined by members of Colorado Mesa University's Turning Point USA chapter, Jason Bias and James Ruman, to discuss the impact Kirk had on them in reaction to his death by an assassin's bullet. For people in our audience who might not know, can you explain what Turning Point USA is?
Yeah, I'll tackle that one. Turning Point USA is a nonprofit organization that's focused on targeting conservative youth and liberal institutions such as college campuses. Aside from that, there are other branches of Turning Point USA, like a Turning Point Faith and a Turning Point Action. Those are going to be similar to a political organization, the Action, and then a church organization, which would be the Faith.
I want to talk how Charlie Kirk influenced your political activism.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll start first. So, I started seeing some of his clips when I was a little younger, 15, 16, seeing that he was able to kind of speak up, kind of made me and a lot of other young people in my generation feel like we had a voice to speak up in areas that were kind of dominated by political extremism, like college campuses and even high school campuses. By seeing that, I kind of had the opportunity to break into the political sphere. I've worked on several campaigns. I used to be the executive director of the National High School Republicans, and now I run a political action committee as well as being president of Turning Point USA here at CMU.
It inspired you to get pretty active in politics, and I know that you've actually spent time with Charlie Kirk. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've met Charlie Kirk a couple times. The most recent time, I'll share a little story with you. We were having breakfast and we were just talking, talking about the current political geography of Mesa County, Colorado, and then what he deals with in Arizona, right, on a day-to-day basis. But he asked me a question on fatherhood, because I'm a young father. I have 3 children and a wife. Bless the Lord for that. And he asked, how do we encourage young people to have more babies, right? And I feel like that's a common question among all age demographics, is how do we encourage these young people, whether have babies or get active, right? And so I came up with the answer of, I think the current administration is doing a good job by raising the child tax credit.
I want to get to the vigil that you're hosting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight.
So
he
made me realize that you have to kind of watch what you say and be bold in what you're going to do. As for the vigil tonight, we are hosting it at Colorado Mesa University in front of the University Center, which is where the big old fountain is. It's pretty. We'll be having speakers, a microphone, and what it is, it's going to be a candlelight service, right? Honoring Charlie Kirk and his legacy, and let people know that Turning Point USA is not going to give up on fulfilling his prophecy that he wants for these young individuals. However, it is 9/11, so we are going to honor all the fallen Americans from 24 years ago. So although it's directed towards Charlie Kirk, we can't host an event on 9/11 without honoring these individuals.
Absolutely. What time does this vigil start?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. and it's open for anybody, right?
It's open for anyone, and we encourage all community members to show up peacefully, right? We don't want people coming and trying to oppose their ideologies, for this is purely about humanity and bringing peace and unity into this situation.